Alright, so this one is on sexual predators and turning them in. I have screenshots from Amy Witcher about her husband molesting her daughter. I have screenshots from Rachel Klang about her dad beating on her and her sister molesting her. That's just a small portion. I also have same thing from Natalie, although that's actually a male predator in that particular situation too. I was going to try to focus on the fact that there are so many female predators. Sexual predators, that is. Maddie Boa had a sexual relationship with Alicia Bollinger, according to Maddie Boa anyway. Maddie Boa also coordinated to accuse one person previous to me, a man by the name of Brian Townsend. She accused him of being a rapist. Where have we heard that before? See, that's the thing. Some people just like to stir the mud, like Karamia, or Cara Rogers, I should say. I should use her real name. And then Kara Johnson. Now, I got that evidence from against Kara Johnson from Shannon Alvarado. She was playing head games. Most of those screenshots I actually have saved. I got lucky. When I was in Cheyenne, Wyoming, I want to say the second time, when I bought the new computer, I got all of the stuff onto those flash drives that I could, and I transferred them over to this computer. I've been having difficulties with all of that, but there are quite a few predators in there. Mostly I focused on Natalie's case and the people who were involved in that and the people who I associated with prior to Virginia, while I was in Virginia, and up to her death, and then after her death. And I need to organize it into those specific categories. As far as the predators go, there's a lot of females who told on their predators, and guys usually don't. We're not supposed to. It's not acceptable. Plus, we're not men if we admit to it. So most men don't come forward about it. I had to break a lot of cycles. When Natalie died, that was the all-be-it end-all. I'm going to try to go through, as I'm writing my story, of course, I'm grabbing out screenshots so that I can block them according to which category they go in, what period of time. And that way, when I send them out to the news agencies, they will be able to read my story and see where each of those pieces go. Now, mind you, my story is probably 2 to 3 novels long, easily. And that depends on what you consider a novel. These would not be short novels. So a lot of these women who claimed these others were sexual predators, I'm aware that some of them are not actual predators, that there's a portion of them that these women were trying to get something out of me by making these claims. Some of them, they might have wanted me to help them move, or, whatever the situation may be. Some of them, they may have just hated that person at the time and been angry, and that's a tool that makes it difficult for a man to have a decent life after that. When you accuse him of something like that, even if he's acquitted, there are always people who are going to have their doubts. This destroys a person's life. So by making it public, well, that makes it so that these women have to come forward. Not literally, but Rachel Klang, if your sister molested you, it's documented, and, well, there is no statute of limitations on child molestation. You should keep that in mind too, Andrew Witcher. Now, because it's public, the victims have a choice. They can come forward and make America safe from these predators, or they can come forward and exonerate the innocent. Although there might be a few of these people who let their predators go by saying no, they didn't do it. And that's not really going to coincide well with the screenshots that I got, because my screenshots are their words. But we'll have to see how it happens. As it turns out, there's a lot more people protecting their predators than I had originally anticipated. I don't mean on my Facebook or my YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of people in my Facebook that I didn't take their screenshots of all of their stuff, because basically they explained why it is that they did not turn in their predators. And that'll take a while to go through all of those. Like I said, I wasn't focused on that. I was mostly focused on people who were actively involved. By actively involved, I mean not just people sharing their stories or asking questions. I mean people who contributed either monetarily or time-wise. And people who were actively involved in threatening, harassing, or stalking me. See, Natalie accused me of stalking her, but that's not the facts. The facts are the other way around, and I've got the evidence in there and I'm writing it down. But also, Maddie Boa's history. Maddie Boa is not just a lesbian, she's a man-hating lesbian. Go figure. Me and her became friends when she was underage. She's one of the few. Now, the thing about Maddie Boa is that she wanted the set, as she called them. That's Natalie and Alicia. She already had a sexual relationship with Alicia before Virginia, and she wanted to have a sexual relationship with Natalie. When we were going to go to Virginia together, she was pretty excited about that. She also had planned on going to North Carolina to see her family in November of 2016, and I was supposed to see her there. Now, I was only planning on being in Virginia until Natalie's leg was healed up, make sure she was all right. It was a difficult situation for me. I mean, I was not anticipating everything fucked up that happened. I wasn't expecting Moose to be in jail. Mahalia had moved from Richmond, Virginia, back to Boulder. I was supposed to give her a ride. Now, it was because Mahalia got on that airplane and went to Boulder that I decided to stay in Virginia longer than the 2 weeks I had originally planned. Also, when I went to Virginia, I originally planned on taking Maddie Boa and I had planned on going to some sites, like Yorktown. It's a pretty important part of the United States history, and any of y'all who paid any damn attention know I love history. That's where General Cornwallis got his ass handed to him by the Continental Army. Mostly a bunch of ragtag nasty fuckers who were led by a Frenchie by the name of, well, I can't pronounce his name currently. I'm going to work on that. But he was known as the Marquis de Lafayette. There's a lot of towns in the United States named after this man. This man is the reason we won the war. Had it not been for the Marquis de Lafayette, we'd have lost it. What's the moral of the story? Well, I'm willing to spend the rest of my life in prison to show the truth. I'm willing to spend the rest of my life in prison to expose the predators. Come hell or high water. The police did everything they could not to do that. Of course, there's a lot of police in Boulder, Colorado involved in child trafficking. You can ask Nancy Stopka about that. You can ask Mariah Johnson about that. You can ask Chelsea Aiken about that. You can ask Desiree Leonard about that. These aren't the only ones. You can ask Christopher Weaver about that. Child trafficking in Boulder, Colorado is not a joke. They seek blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls under the age of 6. The younger the better, and the better the price. A blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl under the age of 6, the most sought after of all, can fetch a price of up to $1.5 million in Boulder, Colorado. Most of these children come from the broke or the homeless.